On to mindful eating. So this is something that everybody should practice. So let's just give us your thoughts on what mindful eating is and how we can implement this into our lives.
Yeah, so mindful eating is really about listening internally to what our body needs for fuel rather than following external rules. So, if we think about weight loss and dieting, it's usually following an external rule, whether it be an external calorie count or eat this, don't eat that. And it can be good to give us some nudges towards healthy eating, but it doesn't always work as a sustainable sort of approach to eating. Mindful eating is much more about tuning into when does my body say it's hungry? When does my body say it's full? What feels satiating to me? When am I likely to eat mindlessly or overeat and push past those internal signals? What's really important is mindful eating isn't a weight loss tool. It's really just a way of tuning into what feels right for your body. We use it a lot in clinical practice for people with certain types of eating disorders and disordered eating. So, in particular, for those that have a history of binge eating disorder, really restrictive weight loss messaging is really damaging and harmful for a lot of those people. But by being able to get them more in tune with what's a normal amount of food for your own body, can sometimes help to eliminate some of those longer term binge eating things. So when we look at very young children, toddlers are a good example of this. My 2-year-old's a good example of this. They're very in tune when they're hungry. He will go raid the pantry, even if it was midnight last night. And when he's had enough to eat, he's had enough to eat. No, nothing more will pass past his lips. But for lots of reasons, as we grow and age, we're required to then eat only based on when we get a break at work or to fit around classes when we're studying. And so there's all sorts of reasons as to why we then lose some of that sensation of what it feels like to be hungry, what it feels like to be full. So we can start to tune back into that. And often that will mean that we're technically eating a bit better than we were before. So a good starting spot is turning distraction off. So just like any other parts of mindfulness, getting rid of screens, focusing on, yeah, it's dinner time. I'm actually eating. I'm not trying to be on the computer and on the phone and everything else at the same time. And then you have possibilities to just observe, what are my eating habits? And when I've got more of an idea of what they are actually day by day for me, I can make some decisions about whether I want to make some modifications. In the overeating, the binge eating, the craving type foods, this can also be really powerful to really take stock of what's my body trying to tell me. If it's suggesting I should be eating this block of chocolate or eating this bag of chips. And you can sometimes really dig down into, is it a hunger thing? Is it a non-hungry thing? And depending on what then you are finding out, you can then plan some more appropriate activities, either some healthier food choices or some non-food based activities. For example, if you're finding, look, I'm really just raiding the pantry because I'm absolutely exhausted and I'm better off going to sort of unwind and have some sleep.
Yeah, that's probably me just getting home, just being like, I'm just I'm just so tired and exhausted. I just want to grab everything. And then you
Yeah.
just don't stop because you just, yeah, once it starts, you can't stop. So you gotta, yeah, figure out when
Yeah,
those
and we do talk
triggers
about
are.
with mindful eating like an appetite rating, like sort of 0, ravenously hungry, 10, I'm stuffed full. When we generally start eating when we're ravenously hungry, we don't really stop eating till we're well past comfortably, if not extremely full, because we do usually eat quite quickly, shovel the food in, so to speak, when we get to those really, really low fullness or extreme hunger kind of situations.